Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. This is going to be a Polkadot dot specific video. You guys will know that I am a massive fan of Polkadot, what they're doing in terms of how they're tackling blockchain, and of course, I'm a fan of some of the projects that are coming out of the Polkadot ecosystem. I see these as real layer one competitors that have all the benefits from being built on Polkadot, like interchain operability and a number of other things. And that is a lot of what I want to start covering on this channel. Is fundamentally things that get me excited in the blockchain space. But this is just going to be a look back on 2022 for Polkadot, because the news surrounding Polkadot, and certainly from YouTube and a number of other media outlets, is very slow. And I plan on changing that. I want to cover Polkadot every single week, multiple times a week, along with Atom, Cardano, all of these great ecosystems. And this channel is going to be the crypto hub where people come and get their information, and we share some exciting news on projects that I'm excited about. And Polkadot is certainly one of them. I think the way that they've done blockchain is brilliant. And I think in the future, if you have big companies out there, public companies that want to launch on a blockchain or want to build a project, to me it makes more sense that they would want their own blockchain and not have to worry about the consensus mechanism and build it from the ground up, rather than have a dApp. So I really am a massive fan of Polkadot. What we're going to do is we're going to go over some pretty huge news and speculation regarding Polkadot and it not being labeled a security by the SEC, and potentially looking at a tweet from Digital Asset News saying that he has just heard that 20 crypto projects are going to receive a letter of non-action from the SEC in 2023. This basically means this project will be labeled as a non-security. This is going to be huge. And actually, the SEC are in a position where they can pick winners and losers within this space, because, of course, if something is labeled a security, it's not the end of the world, but it makes things very cumbersome and will set projects back. Whereas Polkadot kind of makes sense that it is a non-security, because it's a lot more of a software than it would be a security. And I think that the crypto needs its own regulatory framework, rather than just trying to sort of herd it in with the rest. So we'll cover this first, and then we're going to take a look back at 2022 for Polkadot, because it's been an amazing year. Some of the highlights. And then I will love and leave you to your Monday evening. So let me go ahead and get rid of my beautiful face, and we will dive into this news. So this was old news. This came out in November. Web3 Foundation claims Polkadot's native token DOT is software, not a security. Web3 Foundation's chief legal officer, Daniel, should we try and say his name? Schionberger, claims Polkadot's native token DOT is a software, not a security, and should be subject to the federal should not be subject, to the federal securities law. Web3 Foundation chief legal officer Daniel argued that Polkadot's native token DOT has morphed and is a software, not a security. Therefore, the token should not be subject to federal securities regulations. In November the 4th blog post, he claimed that Polkadot's vision has not contemplated that DOT would be a security, and has been in compliance with federal securities laws, and has not delivered any digital assets in initial DOT purchases. Meanwhile, he goes on to say and acknowledges the US Security and Exchange Commission, SEC, view that it will likely to consider DOT would be a security at the time of launch. So it said that the problem you've got is with tokens that have ICO'd, this kind of is their issue here. And it goes on to talk about the federal security laws and crypto versus the SEC. We know the Ripple lawsuit. The ramifications of that either being settled, won, or lost is going to be huge and have huge implications on the crypto space as a whole. I think the SEC has came out and said that Ethereum and Bitcoin are not securities. And I don't think that DOT is, to be honest with you. One reason I'm such a fan of Polkadot is because they've done blockchain differently. How many EVM chains do we have out there? And yes, okay, there's projects building on Polkadot that are EVM chains, but they're doing a lot more than that. There's one that we are very interested in that I'd speak about with my Patreons. If you want to find out more about that, there's a link in the description. That I will be heavily investing in, more so than long-standing layer ones. So this is certainly interesting. Of course, this was the tweet. I'll read it again from Digital Asset News before we go into take a recap on 2022. For Polkadot, I just heard of a top 20 crypto project that is going to receive a letter of non-action from the SEC in 2023. This basically means this project will be labeled as a non-security. What do you think will happen to the price of that? Hint, it's not Bitcoin. Gonna be interesting. I don't know. I just heard. I don't know where he's got that from. I don't know how credible digital asset guy is. I don't know if he's a trader or what he is, or whether he's just a content creator that covers the space. No issues there. But this was another tweet from, and this was yesterday. Imagine if Polkadot starts the year with a letter of non-action from the SEC and labeled as a non-security. The Web3 Foundation announces its announced it months ago, and almost no one listened to them. Let's see if the rumor is true. If the SEC send Polkadot a letter saying it's a non-security, it will rocket, ladies and gentlemen. You'll at least get back to $20-something. No joke. But we are yet to see. You know, we're basically back at 2020's price range. However, I will be doing a separate video where I will be covering DOT specifically in regards to the price. Now, let's go on and take a look at 2022 and some of the amazing things that Polkadot did back then. Because like I said, it's very quiet. And if there's any projects out there that are listening to this right now, or anybody involved in the Polkadot team that wants to reach out to me and come on the show, or wants me to give some sort of a review of their project, completely non-paid thing, and obviously I'll only do it if I think the project's genuine and has something behind it, let me know, because I genuinely believe that there needs to be a lot more DOT influencers, as it's such an exciting prospect that this crypto has. So let's take a look at it. This is officially from Polkadot's Twitter. The Polkadot 2022 roundup is here. Despite the difficult year for the industry, the Polkadot and Kusama community were busy building the largest and most diverse ecosystem of use case specific layer 1 blockchains in the world, making huge strides towards building a better web. I can't even get into how intricate and how well thought out Polkadot actually is in terms of being Web3. You know, they've labeled themselves Web3 for a reason. You know, everything has to connect, just like the internet. You can't have, you know, somebody running a server here and here and here and they couldn't connect, because the internet wouldn't be the internet. And I think that what Polkadot are doing is brilliant, and they're really tackling this problem. So they go on with 74 parachains, 300 plus dApps, and 550 plus projects, and 2,500 monthly active developers across the ecosystem. The Polkadot community has accomplished an incredible feat in just a little over 1 year since the parachains went live. I took part in all the parachain auctions, and of course it's continuing to grow. Following the launch of XCM, which stands for Cross Consensus Messaging, this is the interoperability aspect of Polkadot. You have your underlying relay chain, which is Polkadot, and then you can sort of interact with one another through that. The Polkadot ecosystem kicked off a new era of secure cross-chain interoperability, sending more than 350,000 XCM transfers, a big step towards unlocking the magic of secure cross-chain consensus, bridging to the world. Coupled with the upcoming launch of XCMP, this will end the weakest link problem that has hindered previous generation bridging technology to the tune of $2.5 billion in losses in the past year alone. Thanks to Polkadot's industry-leading upgradability and governance features, nearly 1,000 seamless forkless upgrades of Substrate as blockchain have now taken place, including 15 on Polkadot in 2022, demonstrating that blockchain tech can evolve at a pace of innovation. So this is another amazing feature of Polkadot. It doesn't need to hard fork. Brilliant. You know, there's lots of issues that come with hard forking, and there's certain ways you can do things. Some of the major ecosystems adopted breakthrough this year included partnerships between Astar and .como. And of course, they go on to list a number of partnerships. Throughout the year, ecosystem teams, projects, and dApps on Polkadot kept reaching a new height of what's possible with blockchains, providing Polkadot is leading the way forward for DeFi, NFTs, integrity or identity, gaming, privacy, robonomics, or robotics, IoT, supply chains, and many more use cases. Interesting that they mentioned robotics, because I actually have a blockchain that I was looking at 2 years ago that has probably a market cap. I don't think it would have a million in terms of market cap, guys, that I will not say or mention here because it is still very small. And it's interesting they mentioned robotics. Anyway, little side note. 2022 also saw the launch of the world's largest trust setup Polkadot by Mantra network, spanning 154 countries, over 13,000 participants and counting. This technology is essential for building better, more secure web that keeps sensitive information private. I like Mantra network, by the way. DeFi and Polkadot got a huge boost this year with the integration of Tether and the Circle USDC integration, along with the launch of decentralized exchanges such as Equilibrium, DeFi, and of course Pokedex, utilizing the bleeding edge primitives across blockchain and Web3. It goes on to mention a number of other projects. As you can see, there is a very, very long and extensive list of things taking place. More than 714 Polkadot ambassadors-led meetup took place around the world this year in 50 plus countries. On top of that, the Polkadot ambassador program added more than 100 or 1,600 new ambassador candidates this year. The Polkadot ecosystem keeps growing and getting together. With all this accomplished in 2022, next year for Polkadot looks incredibly strong. The rollout of OpenGov and Power Threads on Polkadot, there's still so much to come, guys. And it also talks about and continued to maturity of the Polkadot's WASM smart contract ecosystem will set the stage for further innovation. I don't want to talk too much about what WASM is, but this is game changing. This will bring on hundreds of thousands of developers into this ecosystem, and the real commodity for blockchains is developers. So the outlook for the broader Polkadot ecosystem is even stronger, given that the average parachain on Polkadot has only been live for about 6 months. The new year will see existing projects rolling out their core functionality and bringing a new wave of users to Polkadot. And if you look at Polkadot's actual token, there's a real use case for it. You need it in order to have a parachain. So I've gone on for long enough. I tried to keep that short and sweet. Lots of exciting things coming out. This was a Polkadot update video. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have, a like is always appreciated. So as a comment, smash that subscribe button, hit that always notification so you get notifications and stay up to date on everything happening, not just within the Polkadot ecosystem, the cryptocurrency market as a whole, you know, the macroeconomics. You get everything in this channel. It is a one-stop shop, guys. I'm going to love and leave you. Enjoy your Mondays.